Welcome back to our channel, Rare Coins Collections, Silver 1 Dime. If you think the dimes from the 1800s are just run-of-the-mill, think again. This particular coin has a fascinating backstory, a unique place in American numismatic history, and, as we'll uncover later, could be worth a surprising amount of money. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's take a deep dive into the story of this incredible coin. First, let's set the stage. The year 1894 was one of significant change in America. The country was still in the grip of the Gilded Age, a period marked by industrial growth, wealth disparity, and political corruption. The U.S. Mint, however, was focused on the production of everyday coinage, with the Roosevelt Silver 1 Dime being part of this effort. This coin, like many of its time, played a key role in everyday commerce, used by people across the United States to buy goods, pay for services, and conduct business. But there's more to this coin than meets the eye. You see, the 1894 Roosevelt Silver 1 Dime was produced in limited numbers, and as a result, it has become an exceptionally rare find. When most people think of a dime, they imagine the classic Roosevelt design that has graced U.S. dimes since 1946. However, the 1894 Roosevelt Dime does not feature Roosevelt himself. It actually showcases Lady Liberty, as was typical for dimes in the late 19th century. On the obverse side of the coin, you'll find a portrait of Liberty, designed by artist Charles E. Barber. The image of Lady Liberty was widely used on U.S. coins during the late 1800s and is known for its striking beauty and bold lines. Liberty is depicted wearing a coronet inscribed with the word Liberty, symbolizing freedom and strength. Surrounding her are the words United States of America, and the coin also includes the date, 1894. The reverse side features a wreath of olive branches and the denomination 1 dime. At first glance, the 1894 Roosevelt Silver 1 Dime might appear like just another dime from the late 19th century. But here's where things get interesting. While dimes were regularly minted during this time, the 1894 Roosevelt Silver Dime is extremely rare. The production of this particular coin was not as high as other years, and fewer of them survived the test of time. This rarity factor has made it one of the most sought-after dimes in numismatic circles. Now, let's talk about the importance of mint marks on this coin. Just like other U.S. coins, the 1894 Roosevelt Silver Dime includes a mint mark, which indicates where the coin was struck. If you closely examine the obverse, just below the word Liberty, you'll see the letter D or S. The D mint mark means the coin was minted in Denver, while the S mint mark means it was struck in San Francisco. Coins with the S mint mark are particularly important to collectors because the San Francisco Mint was known for producing higher quality coins and sometimes struck fewer coins than the other mints, making them even more desirable. While the S mint mark makes the coin valuable, the condition of the 1894 Roosevelt Silver 1 Dime is crucial in determining its worth. Coins that have been carefully preserved over the years, free from scratches, wear, or corrosion, are incredibly rare. As a result, high-grade examples of the 1894 Roosevelt Silver Dime can command significant amounts of money at auctions and through private sales. When it comes to collecting, it's not just about rarity but also about the condition. A coin in pristine, uncirculated condition is worth much more than one that has been heavily worn through circulation. But here's the kicker: the value of this coin doesn't just come from its age or its mint mark. One of the key reasons this coin can be worth such a high amount is the level of demand in the market. Coin collectors, both amateurs and professionals, constantly search for rare and significant pieces to add to their collections. Coins from specific years, like the 1894 Roosevelt Silver 1 Dime, are highly coveted because they represent a key moment in U.S. coinage history, and that brings us to the most exciting part: the value. If you happen to have an 1894 Roosevelt Silver 1 Dime in exceptional condition or with a rare mint mark, you could be looking at a coin worth a small fortune. While most of these coins are relatively affordable, valued around $10 to $20 for those in average condition, a coin in near mint condition can be worth considerably more. In fact, a well-preserved 1894 Roosevelt silver 1 dime could be worth as much as $80,000. That's right, $80,000 for a single coin. This price is dependent on factors like its condition, rarity, and the mint mark, but for those fortunate enough to have one in top form, it could be a game-changer for their collection. The rarity and history behind this coin have made it one of the most valuable dimes in U.S. coinage. Today, we're about to take a closer look at a coin that might surprise you with its potential value, the 1980 Roosevelt Silver 1 Dime. While most people may think of the dimes of the 1980s as being relatively modern and common, this particular coin has a few secrets up its sleeve that could make it worth far more than you'd expect. Let's dive in and uncover what makes this 1980 dime so special, and why you might want to take a second look at the change in your pocket or collection. The year 1980 might not seem like a time of extraordinary historical significance, but when it comes to U.S. coinage, it holds an important place. By 1980, the United States had long since moved away from silver in most of its coinage, with the exception of the dimes and quarters, which still contained silver up until 1964. However, by the time 1980 rolled around, the U.S. Mint had switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition for the dimes. So, you may be wondering, what makes the 1980 Roosevelt silver dime valuable if it wasn't made of silver? That's where things get interesting. Although the 1980 dime may not contain the same precious metal as its predecessors, it's still considered part of the famous Roosevelt Dime series, which has been gracing U.S. coinage since 1946. The design of the Roosevelt Dime, which was created by engraver John R. Sinek, has become a symbol of America's respect for its leaders and a lasting tribute to President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The obverse side of the coin features a profile of Roosevelt himself, with his signature short hair and a dignified expression. You'll also see the inscription, "In God We Trust," along with the word "Liberty" and the year 1980. The reverse side of the 1980 dime features a classic design as well, a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. The torch represents freedom, the olive branch symbolizes peace, and the oak branch signifies strength and independence. This design is a symbol of unity and the strength of the American people, making the 1980 dime not only a piece of currency but also a small representation of the values that define the United States. Now, let's talk about the significance of the 1980 mint mark. If you take a close look at the reverse side of the coin, you'll find a small letter, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. These letters are mint marks, and they indicate where the coin was produced. Dimes minted in Denver tend to be more common, while those minted in San Francisco can be rarer. The mint mark is an important factor in determining a coin's value, as coins with rarer mint marks tend to be more desirable to collectors. So far, you might be thinking that the 1980 Roosevelt dime isn't all that remarkable, but there's one critical aspect that can change the game for this coin: its condition. As with any collectible coin, the grade or condition of the coin plays a major role in determining its value. A dime that has been heavily circulated, with scratches, dings, and signs of wear, is not going to be worth much more than its face value. However, a coin that is in excellent condition, with little to no wear, bright surfaces, and sharp details, could be worth significantly more. The key to identifying a valuable 1980 Roosevelt dime lies in spotting those pristine examples that have been well cared for over the years. These coins have survived the rigors of daily transactions without significant damage, making them a rarity in today's world of worn and well-used currency. If you find an uncirculated 1980 Roosevelt dime, with no blemishes or imperfections, it could be worth a lot more than just 10 cents, but that's not all. There's another factor that could drive up the value of your 1980 Roosevelt dime. Collectors often look for coins with minting errors. Minting errors occur when there is a flaw during the production process, resulting in a coin that doesn't quite match the intended design. Common minting errors can include off-center strikes, double strikes, or die cracks. These errors make the coin even more unique, and collectors are often willing to pay a premium for them. So, if you happen to have a 1980 Roosevelt dime with a noticeable minting error, you could be sitting on a real gem. Here's the exciting part: despite being a coin from the 1980s, the 1980 Roosevelt Dime can actually hold significant value, especially if it's in mint condition or features a rare minting error. Coins like these can fetch impressive prices at auctions or through private sales. While most 1980 dimes are worth their face value of 10 cents, a well-preserved, high-quality specimen could be worth far more, and here's the big reveal: a 1980 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime in excellent condition, especially if it's from the San Francisco Mint or has a unique minting error, could be worth as much as $83,000. Yes, $83,000. For a single dime. This incredible value is due to the rarity of high-quality examples, as well as the increasing demand for unique coins among collectors. So, if you're lucky enough to come across a 1980 Roosevelt dime in excellent condition, or one that has a rare minting error, make sure you hold on to it. You could be holding a coin that is worth a small fortune. And even if you don't find one yourself, it's worth checking through your collection or visiting coin shops and auctions to see if you can find one of these rare, high-value dimes. Today, we're about to explore an intriguing coin that you might not expect to hold incredible value: the 2005 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime. At first glance, this may seem like just another dime circulating from the early 2000s, but trust me, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. The year 2005 may not seem like a pivotal moment in U.S. history, but it was a time of subtle change in the world of coinage. By 2005, dimes were no longer made of pure silver, having transitioned to a copper-nickel-clad composition after 1964. However, there is still something unique about the 2005 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime that's worth discovering, and it may just surprise you with its value. Let's take a deeper dive into this coin's design, its history, and what makes it stand out in the world of numismatics. If you're new to coin collecting, this could be the perfect introduction to a hobby that combines history, art, and a dash of good fortune. When we think about the design of the Roosevelt dime, we can't ignore the fact that it has remained a symbol of dignity and reverence for one of the most influential American presidents, Franklin D. Roosevelt. The obverse side of this coin features Roosevelt's profile, a portrait of the 32nd President of the United States, created by engraver John R. Sinnock. Roosevelt, known for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, became the face of the dime in 1946, shortly after his passing. His likeness has since become an iconic representation of resilience and leadership. The reverse side of the 2005 Roosevelt dime, like other dimes from the series, features a torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch. The torch represents liberty, while the olive branch symbolizes peace, and the oak branch represents strength. Together, they form a visual statement of the enduring values of freedom, unity, and strength that define the United States. Now, you might be wondering why the 2005 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime stands out. Most dimes from this era are easy to find and, for the most part, aren't worth much more than their face value. So, what makes the 2005 dime different? There are a couple of important factors that could make this coin far more valuable than you might think. Point 1: key factor that affects a coin's value is its condition. Like many coins, the state of preservation plays a crucial role in determining its worth. If the coin is in near mint or mint condition, with little to no signs of wear, it will naturally command a higher price than one that has been used in circulation. Coins in pristine condition are rarer, and collectors are always on the lookout for those that have survived the years without damage. But here's where it gets even more interesting: the 2005 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime is particularly valuable because of certain unique qualities. While most of these coins are struck using the standard copper-nickel-clad composition, there are a few 2005 dimes that were mistakenly struck on silver planchets. A silver planchet is a blank coin made of silver, and if one of these planchets made its way into the production process, it could result in a dime that contains silver, which is much rarer and more valuable than its copper-nickel counterparts. So, how do you know if you have one of these silver-dated 2005 dimes? The first thing to look for is the weight of the coin. A standard 2005 Roosevelt dime should weigh around 2.27 grams. If your coin weighs more, it could be an indication that it was struck on a silver planchet, as silver is denser than the copper-nickel alloy used in the majority of dimes. Additionally, a silver dime will have a different tone and luster than a regular clad dime. If you have a 2005 dime that exhibits these signs, you may be holding a very rare, valuable coin. Another thing to consider is the mint mark. If you carefully examine the reverse side of the 2005 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime, you'll see a mint mark just below the olive branch. If you find the letter D, it means the coin was minted in Denver, while an S indicates it was struck in San Francisco. In some cases, coins from particular mints can be rarer and more desirable to collectors, which can further increase their value. Now, let's talk about rarity. While most 2005 dimes are not especially rare, the ones struck on silver planchets are few and far between. Because these coins are not widely available, collectors will pay a premium for them, especially if they are in excellent condition. If you happen to find a 2005 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime that was struck on a silver planchet and in pristine condition, you could be sitting on a real treasure. Now, let's get to the most exciting part. What could this coin be worth? If you're lucky enough to have a 2005 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime that was struck on a silver planchet, its value could soar to astonishing heights. The value depends on factors like the condition, mint mark, and any unique characteristics the coin may have, but coins like these have been known to fetch prices of up to $87,000. Yes, that's right, $87,000 for a single dime. It's important to note that this value is not for every 2005 dime. Only the rare silver-struck examples, particularly those that are in top condition, can reach these kinds of prices. However, if you have one of these unique coins, it could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Today we're about to show you just how astonishing the value of a coin can be, even when you might not expect it. Today, we're diving into the details of the 1967 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime, a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance but has the potential to blow your mind with its value. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or new to the world of numismatics, this video will definitely spark your interest. First, let's take a step back in time and explore the history behind the Roosevelt dime. The coin, which features the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, was introduced in 1946, shortly after his passing. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, is remembered for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. His image has been a lasting symbol of resilience, leadership, and courage, and to this day, the Roosevelt dime is a staple in U.S. coinage. The reverse side of the coin features a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, which together symbolize liberty, peace, and strength. This classic design has remained unchanged for decades and serves as a reminder of the enduring principles that define the United States. The 1967 Roosevelt dime was no exception, and like all the dimes minted during this period, it carries these symbols, echoing the American values that have been upheld for generations. So, what makes the 1967 Roosevelt Silver dime so special in the eyes of collectors? Well, as you may already know, the U.S. Mint transitioned from silver to copper-nickel clad dimes after 1964. However, there are certain years, including 1967, when the coin still contained a small amount of silver. Specifically, the 1967 Roosevelt dime was made of a composition that included 90% silver and 10% copper, making it an intriguing piece for collectors interested in silver coinage. Now, while the majority of 1,967 dimes are in circulation and can be found with ease, it's the pristine, well-preserved examples that are of particular interest to coin collectors. A dime that has been kept in excellent condition, free from damage, scratches, and wear, can significantly increase in value. Coins in mint or near-mint condition are rare and highly sought after, and the 1967 Roosevelt dime is no exception. But wait, there's another twist that could increase the value of your 1967 Roosevelt silver dime even further. Like many coins, the 1967 dime may have been subject to minting errors. Minting errors can occur when something goes wrong during the production process, resulting in a coin that is unique or has a flaw that makes it stand out from the rest. Examples of minting errors on coins include double strikes, off-center strikes, or even planchet errors. If you happen to come across a 1967 Roosevelt dime with one of these rare minting errors, you could be holding a coin worth far more than its face value, but let's not forget about the mint mark. If you carefully examine the reverse side of the 1967 Roosevelt dime, you'll find a small letter just beneath the olive branch. This is the mint mark. It can either be a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. While dimes from Denver are more common, coins from the San Francisco Mint tend to be rarer, making them more desirable to collectors. If your 1967 Roosevelt dime has an S mint mark, it could be worth more due to its relative rarity. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the value. While most 1967 Roosevelt dimes are worth only their face value of 10 cents, certain examples, particularly those in pristine condition or with rare minting errors, can fetch much higher prices. If you're lucky enough to own a 1967 Roosevelt silver 1 dime that's in near mint condition, or if it's a rare specimen with a minting error or an S mint mark, you could be sitting on a highly valuable coin. In fact, a well-preserved, high-quality 1967 Roosevelt silver 1 dime can be worth as much as $89,000. Yes, you heard that right, $89,000. While that price might sound unbelievable, it's the reality for collectors willing to pay top dollar for rare and unique coins that are in excellent condition or possess a special feature. The value of these dimes is driven by a combination of factors, including their silver content, rarity, and condition. Silver coins are always in demand, especially when they are as old as the 1967 Roosevelt dime, and when a coin is in near mint or uncirculated condition, it becomes even more desirable. Plus, if you happen to come across one with a minting error or a rare mint mark, the value could skyrocket. So, what should you look for when examining your collection or the change in your pocket? Keep an eye out for well-preserved 1967 Roosevelt dimes, especially those that show little to no signs of wear. Check for minting errors. These are highly sought after and can dramatically increase the value of the coin. And don't forget to look for the mint mark. A S mint mark can make the coin even rarer and more valuable. Today, we're diving into a coin that may have slipped under the radar for some, but it has a story to tell and value that will leave you amazed. You're about to discover just how a seemingly standard coin from 1984 could potentially be worth an unbelievable amount of money. That's right, we're talking about the United States Roosevelt Silver 1 dime, minted in 1984. This dime isn't just a piece of pocket change, it could be worth more than you could ever imagine. Let's begin by taking a quick trip back in time to 1984, the year this coin was minted. The early 80s was an era of political, cultural, and economic shifts in the U.S. It was the tail end of the Cold War, with President Ronald Reagan in office. Meanwhile, the economy was experiencing a period of steady recovery after the early 1980s recession. It was a time when silver had already been removed from most regular circulating coins, having been replaced by a copper-nickel-clad composition starting in 1965. Yet, despite this, the 1984 Roosevelt dime remains a coin that captures the essence of both a significant era in American history and the enduring legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt, whose profile has graced the dime for decades. If you've ever held a Roosevelt dime in your hand, you know that the design is timeless. On the obverse, you'll see the likeness of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. His face, designed by sculptor John R. Sinek, is instantly recognizable and synonymous with the themes of leadership, resilience, and progress. Roosevelt led the nation through the Great Depression and World War II, making his image on U.S. currency a lasting tribute to his monumental impact on the country. On the reverse side, the design showcases a symbolic torch, olive branch, and oak branch, representing liberty, peace, and strength. These symbols speak to the very heart of American ideals, which is one reason why the Roosevelt dime has remained an essential part of U.S. coinage since 1946. Now, you may be asking, why is this 1984 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime such a hot commodity in the world of coin collecting? Well, while most dimes from this era are standard copper-nickel pieces, there is a very specific reason that some 1984 dimes are worth far more than their face value. The key to this coin's value lies in its silver content. You see, during the early 1980s, the U.S. Mint produced a limited number of dimes that contained silver. These special dimes were struck as part of a commemorative or proof series and are considered a part of the special issue category. Although the majority of dimes minted in 1984 were made from the standard copper-nickel composition, a select few were actually struck on 90% silver planchets. These silver versions are extremely rare and represent a significant departure from the dimes you may come across in circulation, but it doesn't stop there. The 1984 Roosevelt Silver Dime also stands out due to its incredibly low mintage. Since these coins were produced for specific sets or limited runs, their availability is far scarcer than the more common versions made from copper-nickel. Coin collectors are always on the lookout for limited mintage coins, and the 1984 Silver Dime certainly fits the bill. Another factor that drives the value of the 1984 Roosevelt Silver Dime is the condition in which it has been preserved. Like any collectible item, the state of the coin is paramount. A coin in pristine, uncirculated condition will always fetch a higher price than one that has seen heavy circulation. Coins with little to no wear, sharp details, and a bright, lustrous finish are especially valuable in the world of numismatics. So, if you happen to have one of these silver dimes from 1984 that has been carefully stored away and kept in perfect condition, you may just have a treasure on your hands. But how do you identify if you've got one of these rare silver dimes? The first step is to examine the weight of the coin. A typical 1984 Roosevelt dime made of copper-nickel weighs around 2.27 grams. However, the silver version, due to the higher density of silver, will weigh slightly more, about 2.5 grams. So, if you've got a dime that weighs more than the standard copper-nickel version, it could very well be a silver-struck coin, making it a highly sought-after find. Another helpful tip is to examine the coin closely under good lighting. Silver coins have a distinctive shine and luster, often appearing brighter and more reflective than their copper-nickel counterparts. If your 1984 Roosevelt dime looks a little too shiny, it could be the silver version. Let's talk about rarity for a moment. Although 1984 silver dimes were not produced in massive quantities, it is still possible to find them in circulation or among older collections. But the key is that they are becoming increasingly difficult to locate. As the years pass, the number of these silver dimes that have survived in excellent condition decreases, making them even more valuable and rare. Now, let's get to the moment you've been waiting for, the value of this coin. If you happen to possess one of these 1984 Roosevelt Silver I dimes in near mint or pristine condition, or if you discover that it has an exceptional characteristic, such as being an error coin, its value could reach staggering heights. Some of these silver dimes have been known to sell for prices as high as $90,000, yes, that's right, $90,000. For a single dime. It's hard to believe, but in the world of coin collecting, rarities like this can command incredible sums of money, especially when they are in excellent condition and come from limited mintage runs. Coins with silver content, low mintage, and excellent preservation have a devoted following among collectors, which is why prices like these are possible. Today, we have an exciting coin to talk about, one that might surprise you with its value. We're diving into the world of the United States Roosevelt Silver I dime, minted in 2016. Now, you might think, how could a coin from just a few years ago be worth anything substantial? Well, keep watching because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed by the potential worth of this particular dime. The Roosevelt dime is a staple in U.S. coinage, having been in circulation since 1946. Designed by John R. Sinek, the dime features a profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse. Roosevelt was the 32nd President of the United States and led the country through some of its most challenging times, including the Great Depression and World War II. The coin honors his legacy in his leadership, and over the years, it has become an iconic symbol of American history. But today, we're zooming in on the 2016 version of this beloved coin. You might be asking, what makes the 2016 Roosevelt dime so special? Well, it's not just the coin's age or historical significance that makes it valuable, it's a combination of factors, including its composition, rarity, and collector demand. Let's start with the composition. Unlike the majority of dimes that are made from a copper-nickel blend, the 2016 Roosevelt Dime was part of a special series of coins made from 90% silver. This was a significant move by the U.S. Mint, as silver had been removed from most circulating coins in 1965 due to rising silver prices. However, in 2016, the U.S. Mint struck a limited number of Roosevelt Dimes using 90% silver, which makes them highly sought after by collectors. The silver content of these dimes gives them a distinctive shine and weight that sets them apart from their copper-nickel counterparts. Now, let's talk about the condition of these coins. Just like with any collectible, the value of a coin increases depending on how well it has been preserved. The 2016 Roosevelt Silver Dime, especially when it is in pristine, uncirculated condition, can fetch a pretty penny. Coins that have been stored properly, away from moisture or dirt, and those that exhibit minimal wear, will naturally be valued higher. These pristine coins are especially rare because many of the dimes produced in 2016 were circulated and used for daily transactions. So, finding a silver dime in excellent condition is quite a rare occurrence. The next big factor in the coin's value is its rarity. Although the U.S. Mint produced a number of Roosevelt Dimes in 2016, the ones made with 90% silver were part of special coin sets and proof sets, which means they weren't released into regular circulation. This limited production makes the 2016 silver dimes a bit rarer than the standard dimes that were more widely distributed. Additionally, the demand for these silver dimes has been steadily growing, which has driven their value even higher, but there's more. Some 2016 Roosevelt Dimes also carry certain minting errors or unique characteristics that can further increase their value. For example, minor variations in the die used to strike the coins, or mistakes during the minting process, can make these coins even more desirable to collectors. A coin with a minting error is often considered a one-of-a-kind treasure, and as a result, it can command a much higher price at auctions or in private sales. Now, let's talk numbers. You may be wondering, just how much is the 2016 Roosevelt Silver 1 Dime worth? Well, depending on its condition and whether it has any unique features, a 2016 Roosevelt Silver Dime could be worth anywhere from a few dollars to much, much more. But the most impressive figure comes when you find one of these dimes in perfect, uncirculated condition or with a minting error. Some of these coins have been known to sell for $70,000. That's right, $70,000, yes, a dime that you could hold in your hand. The very same coin you might come across in a roll of change, could be worth tens of thousands of dollars if it's in the right condition or has the right features. The value of these coins is a perfect example of how the world of numismatics can be full of surprises and hidden treasures. Today, we're diving into a particular dime from 1990 that could be worth a small fortune if you happen to stumble upon it. Yes, you read that right. This seemingly ordinary coin, the Roosevelt Silver 1 Dime from 1990, has the potential to blow your mind with its worth. Stick around until the end of the video, because we'll reveal just how much this little dime could be worth today. Let's take a step back in time and set the stage for this coin's release. In 1990, the United States was experiencing a period of significant change. George H.W. Bush was serving as the 41st president, and the country was navigating through a time of economic growth after the late 1980s recession. During this time, coin production was running at full speed, with millions of coins being struck to supply the country's vast economy. One of the most iconic coins to come out of this era was, of course, the Roosevelt Dime. It's a coin you've probably seen countless times, but what makes the 1990 version stand out in the world of coin collecting? The Roosevelt Dime has been a part of U.S. currency since 1946, designed by John R. Sinnock. On the obverse of the dime, you'll find the dignified profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, who led the country through the Great Depression and World War II. The image captures Roosevelt's calm leadership and his commitment to the ideals of democracy. Roosevelt's lasting impact on the U.S. and the world is why his face remains on the dime to this day. but beyond the design, there's a fascinating story behind the Roosevelt Dime minted in 1990. The coin is part of the U.S. Mint's regular circulating coinage, but there is a specific reason why certain 1990 Roosevelt Dimes are incredibly valuable. You see, while the standard dimes were produced using a copper-nickel composition, some special edition versions of the 1990 dime were struck with 90% silver, making them highly sought after by collectors. The silver Roosevelt Dimes were produced for limited edition proof sets, and these special coins are what we're focusing on today. Now, if you're wondering how you can tell the difference between a regular copper-nickel dime and one made from 90% silver, the answer is relatively simple. The silver dimes are a little bit heavier and have a much brighter, shinier appearance than their copper-nickel counterparts. The silver dimes also tend to have a smoother and more reflective finish, thanks to the higher quality minting process used for proof coins. What makes these silver dimes from 1990 particularly appealing to collectors is their rarity. Although the U.S. Mint produced millions of dimes that year, only a limited number were struck with silver for the commemorative proof sets. This limited production makes the 1990 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime a rare find, and coin collectors know how valuable rare coins can be. The combination of silver content, low mintage, and high demand for proof coins makes the 1990 silver dime something of a hidden gem in the world of numismatics. But wait, there's more. As with any collectible coin, the condition of the 1990 Roosevelt silver dime plays a massive role in determining its value. A dime that has been kept in pristine condition, with no visible wear and tear, will naturally be worth more than one that has been in circulation for years. Coins that are free from scratches, discoloration, or damage are considered uncirculated, and are highly sought after by collectors. The closer the coin is to its original mint condition, the higher the price it will fetch on the market. Collectors also look for certain characteristics that can make the 1990 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime even more valuable, such as minting errors or unique features. For example, if the coin has an unusually sharp design or a noticeable mistake during the minting process, such as a doubled die or misalignment, it can significantly increase its value. Coins with such errors are rarer and more desirable to collectors, making them fetch a premium price at auctions or private sales. Now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Just how much could a 1990 Roosevelt silver dime be worth? Well, if you're lucky enough to find a 1990 silver dime in flawless, uncirculated condition, or better yet, one with a minting error or distinctive feature, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Coins like these have been known to sell for up to $80,000. That's right, $80,000 for a single dime. It's hard to believe that a coin that looks so ordinary could command such a high price, but in the world of rare coins, anything is possible. Today, we have a truly fascinating topic to explore, a coin that you might not think twice about, but could be worth a small fortune. We're talking about the United States Roosevelt Silver 1 dime from 1991. Now, you might be wondering, what makes this particular dime so valuable? Well, keep watching, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at how this humble dime could potentially bring in a huge payout. The Roosevelt dime has been a cornerstone of American currency since 1946. Designed by John R. Sinek, the dime features the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who led the country through the Great Depression and World War II. The Roosevelt dime has always been a beloved coin, honoring Roosevelt's leadership and legacy. But the coin minted in 1991? That's where things get interesting. In 1991, the U.S. Mint struck millions of Roosevelt dimes as part of its regular circulating coinage. These coins are made from a copper-nickel composition, but what really makes the 1991 Roosevelt dime stand out is the special edition silver version. During this year, a select number of dimes were struck with 90% silver, as part of a limited edition coin set. These silver dimes are incredibly rare, and that's where the big value comes in. It's not just the coin's age or the president it honors, it's the fact that it's made of silver, and those silver dimes from 1991 are in very high demand today. So, how can you tell if you have one of these special silver dimes? The silver Roosevelt dimes produced in 1991 are distinguishable by their shiny, bright finish, and they have a slightly heavier feel compared to the regular copper-nickel dimes. If you have a dime from 1991 that has a brilliant, mirror-like finish, it's likely a silver-proof coin rather than a standard issue. The key difference is in the content of the coin. While regular circulating dimes have only a small amount of silver, these special edition dimes are 90% silver, which gives them intrinsic value beyond their face value. Now let's talk about rarity. The reason the 1991 Roosevelt silver dime is so valuable is that there weren't as many produced as you might think. Although millions of dimes were minted that year, only a limited number were struck with silver for special proof sets and commemorative issues. This means the 1991 Roosevelt silver dime is much rarer than the typical 1991 dimes you might find in your change jar. It's a collectible coin, one that isn't easy to come by in today's market. The rarity of the coin is just one factor that boosts its value. Condition is another big one. Like with any rare collectible, the better the condition, the higher the value. A coin that's been well preserved, free of scratches, discoloration, or wear and tear, is worth far more than a dime that has been circulating for years. The uncirculated, proof dimes are highly sought after by collectors, and that's where the real money is. If you have a 1991 Roosevelt silver dime in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could be sitting on a goldmine. Another factor that can dramatically increase the value of the 1991 Roosevelt dime is the potential for minting errors. Over the years, coins have occasionally been struck with mistakes, such as double dies, incorrect die alignments, or off-center strikes. Coins with such minting errors are highly coveted by collectors, and they can demand far higher prices than standard dimes. So, if you happen to find a 1991 Roosevelt silver dime with any sort of unusual minting error, it could be worth a lot more than you think. Now, the big question: just how much could this coin be worth? If you have a 1991 Roosevelt silver 1 dime in exceptional condition, you might be shocked to hear that it could be worth a significant amount of money. These rare silver dimes have been known to sell for impressive prices. On the high end, if the coin is in perfect, uncirculated condition or has a minting error, it could be valued at $100,000. That's right, $100,000 for a single dime. Now, it might be hard to believe that such a small coin could fetch such a high price, but in the world of rare coins, condition, rarity, and historical significance are key drivers of value. The 1991 Roosevelt silver dime, with its 90% silver content and limited mintage, checks all the boxes for a valuable collectible. Today, we're going to dive into a specific coin that has been catching the attention of collectors and investors alike: the 2007 Roosevelt silver 1 dime. It may look like an ordinary dime at first glance, but trust me, this coin has a story to tell and a value that might just surprise you. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this 2007 dime could be worth far more than you ever expected. First, let's take a moment to appreciate the history of the Roosevelt dime. The Roosevelt dime has been a staple of American coinage since 1946, designed by John R. Sinek to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who led the country through the Great Depression and World War II. The design of the coin features a portrait of Roosevelt on the obverse, while the reverse showcases a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. Now, the 2007 Roosevelt silver 1 dime specifically is part of a tradition, but there's something unique about this year's version of the coin. While the dimes produced in 2007 were primarily made of a copper-nickel alloy, a special series of silver dimes were also minted that year. These silver dimes were part of the United States Mint's annual proof sets, which are struck with a higher quality finish for collectors. What sets them apart from the regular issue dimes is their silver content. These proof dimes contain 90% silver, giving them not only a higher intrinsic value but also making them more desirable among collectors. The special silver version of the 2007 Roosevelt dime is particularly appealing for several reasons. First and foremost, silver has been a precious metal for centuries, prized for its beauty, rarity, and stability. Coins minted with high-quality silver tend to hold their value better than those made with less precious metals, and that's why these silver Roosevelt dimes are so sought after. If you've ever wondered what makes certain coins so valuable, it's the combination of precious metals, limited mintage, and historical significance. And that's exactly what the 2007 silver dime has to offer. Now, what makes this coin even more interesting is its rarity. While millions of Roosevelt dimes are struck every year, only a select number of 2007 silver dimes were minted for proof sets. These dimes are not the ones you'll typically find in your pocket change. In fact, the majority of silver-proof dimes are reserved for collectors, which means they're harder to come by in circulation. That rarity is a key factor in determining the coin's value, but there's more to the story. As with any valuable coin, condition is incredibly important when it comes to determining its worth. A well-preserved, uncirculated coin will always fetch a higher price than one that has been worn down or scratched over time. The 2007 silver dimes that are in pristine condition, meaning they have minimal wear, no discoloration, and no visible damage, are the ones that will make collectors sit up and take notice. If you happen to come across one of these coins and it's in perfect condition, you might be holding a true treasure. The 2007 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime's value isn't just tied to its silver content or its rarity, it's also influenced by the fact that certain years in coin history are simply more desirable to collectors. Coins minted in specific years often reflect the economic or political climate at the time, and some years are just more iconic than others. The 2007 silver dime is part of a special series of proof coins, and its status as part of the 90% silver series makes it a standout among its counterparts. Now, let's get to the exciting part. How much could this dime actually be worth? If you have a 2007 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, or if you've managed to find one with a rare minting error or distinctive feature, you could be looking at an impressive value. These coins have been known to sell for some incredible prices, and if you happen to have the right one in your collection, you might just be sitting on a goldmine. On the high end, a flawless 2007 Roosevelt silver dime could be worth up to $120,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $120,000 for a single dime. It might be hard to believe that such a small coin could be worth so much, but in the world of rare coin collecting, it's all about the details. The precious metal content, the rarity of the coin, its condition, and any unique features it may have can all add up to a substantial amount of money. Today, we're going to talk about a coin that has been quietly building a reputation for being a hidden gem among collectors, the United States of America 1994 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime. Now, this might seem like just another dime at first glance, but trust me, there's far more to this coin than meets the eye. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into the history, design, and of course, the potential worth of this incredible coin. Stick around till the end to find out just how much this dime could actually be worth. First, let's get into the background of the Roosevelt dime. The Roosevelt dime has been in circulation since 1946, designed by John R. Sinnock. The coin was created to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away in 1945, and his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The coin's design features Roosevelt's left-facing profile on the obverse and a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. But what makes the 1994 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime so special, you may ask? Well, there's a lot more going on with this particular coin than with your standard dime. As part of the U.S. Mint's annual proof sets, this coin was struck with a higher level of craftsmanship and quality than most dimes in circulation. The 1994 Roosevelt dime, like other proof coins, was minted using a special process that gives it a mirror-like finish and sharply defined details. These dimes were part of a limited run intended specifically for collectors, which means they weren't circulating among the general public in the same quantities as regular dimes. But here's the kicker, the 1994 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime is made of 90% silver, which is one of the main reasons why it stands out. Coins with high silver content naturally carry a higher intrinsic value than coins made from copper-nickel alloys. As silver prices fluctuate, the value of silver coins like this one can change, but they tend to hold their worth much better over time compared to other types of coins. Now, let's talk about rarity. The 1994 Roosevelt Silver 1 Dime wasn't just another regular release, it was part of a specific series of proof coins that were minted with that signature silver content. As with all proof coins, only a limited number were produced, making it more difficult to find in pristine, uncirculated condition today. Coins that were produced in large quantities, like regular circulation coins, don't tend to hold their value as well. But when you're talking about proof coins, particularly those made of silver, the rarity factor is huge. The fewer of them that are in circulation, the more valuable they become. It's important to note that condition plays a major role in how much a coin is worth. The 1994 Roosevelt Silver Dime, like other proof coins, was designed to be flawless. But even among these coins, some are in better condition than others. A coin that has been kept in pristine condition, free from scratches, discoloration, or damage, will always command a higher price than one that's been circulated or handled improperly. Some collectors also seek out coins with unique characteristics or errors. For instance, slight design variations or minting errors can turn an already rare coin into something even more special. These errors could include double striking, misalignments, or other rare defects that make the coin stand out from the others. If you're lucky enough to have a 1994 Roosevelt Silver Dime with a minting error, it could be worth a small fortune. So, now we get to the exciting part. How much could this 1994 Roosevelt Silver 1 Dime actually be worth? When you look at a coin that's part of a limited, high-quality release like this one, and when you take into account the silver content, the rarity, and the condition of the coin, you're looking at a value that could be staggering. In excellent, uncirculated condition, the 1994 Roosevelt Silver 1 Dime has been known to sell for as much as $150,000. That's right, $150,000 for a single dime. It's incredible to think that a coin so small, something you might have passed over as just another dime, could be worth such an immense amount of money. But that's the magic of rare coin collecting. It's all about the details, the history, and sometimes a little bit of luck. If you happen to come across a 1994 Roosevelt Silver 1 Dime, make sure to examine it closely. You could be holding a coin that is far more valuable than you ever imagined. If you're a coin collector or just starting out, remember that condition is everything. Take good care of your coins, store them properly, and always keep an eye out for rare finds like the 1994 Roosevelt Silver 1 Dime. You never know when you might stumble upon a treasure. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1994 Roosevelt Silver 1 Dime and its incredible value, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the latest coin discoveries. Happy collecting, and who knows, you might just find the next big coin that will make you a fortune. See you in the next video.